Today I had a call with a member of the investor relations team for a pretty big fund, and he asked a question that we have not yet received. Well, none of us have heard this, largely because a lot of the individuals in the capital raising space, no knock to a lot of you guys watching this video, but you're not as in the know-how with paid advertising and sales processes, and it's a lot of boots on the ground, guerrilla warfare, as you call it, when raising money. And what I loved about this conversation is that he totally threw me off. In the middle of the call, kind of removed himself as a guy with a tech sales background and asked me, basically was joking around and said, I gave you everything. You got the problem, you got my needs, you got what I've tried, you got everything you need. Now it's your turn. Take the call. And totally threw me, took the frame, was a little bit pissed about how the call went in general towards the end of it, because I totally fell into his line of questioning and his, again, frame. But what was interesting is one of the questions that he had asked towards the beginning of the call was, why Facebook? And I realize it's not something that people ask, but something that people often have in the back of their mind, whether you're a fund manager, a GP, or someone on the team that's wondering about paid advertising. So in this video, I thought I'd break down why we actually go with Facebook as an advertising channel for running paid ads, because there are options like LinkedIn, Google, YouTube. There are tons of different ad platforms out there. So why do we consistently go with Facebook? Before we get into the why, it's important for you to understand how Facebook works. Mr. Mark Zuck, he's a very smart man. And what scares a lot of people when I say it out loud, but what I think is very important for you to know is that anybody that has ever downloaded Instagram, Facebook, engaged with something, logged into their platforms, Mark has over 52,000 data points on that individual. And the more that individual uses the platform, the more data that they get. But at a baseline, there are 52,000 data points on every person. What we found very interesting that other agencies have told funds, or that we've heard from other people, or questions we'll get about just ads in general, is who do you target? How do you target? That was important back in 2016 to 2018. But as the platforms have gotten better, and again, these 52,000 data points have become more and more refined, all you have to do is say the right words. That's it. If you can say the right words, Facebook and Instagram will put you right in front of who you want to be put in front of. And so that's the power of Facebook over some of these other platforms like Google or YouTube. The problem with Google, for example, is how many people actively go, what fund can I invest in? It is an intent-based platform. Most of the time, that's not how that works. Funds, syndications, they need to be viewed as opportunities for LPs or accredited investors, not something people are like, this is a thing that I need. You do that for your electrician, you do that for your plumber. You don't do that to invest your money. It's through a network or it's through an opportunity that you see. And the problem with Google is it's intent-based. People just don't use the platform that way. The other platform people often ask us about is LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn is not that bad of a platform, but I want you to think about the culture of LinkedIn as a whole. When you're on LinkedIn or when people post on LinkedIn, I hate the platform personally. I used to be big on it when I was not as sophisticated of a business owner. The more sophisticated I've gotten, the more I just despise the platform, because all it is it's a posture fest. Congratulations, you've done so good. Oh my God, awesome. It's people scared to be who they actually are. And the people that are who they actually are get a hell of a lot more engagement. But most of the people on that platform are not there being themselves. Their guard is up the second they step on it. And so from a math perspective, the conversions are a lot shittier. But just in general, if you think about the behavior of the individual on the platform, their guard is up. They're skeptical. They're constantly thinking about how they're being perceived. I don't care who you are. If you care about your LinkedIn presence, that's how you will behave. That is the culture of that platform. Again, LinkedIn, it's really you're just not in the right mind. Now, the third platform that we hear about often, and that I honestly really like, but we haven't gotten a test and I would rather not take the risk relative to the results we've already gotten, is YouTube. Now, YouTube's great because there is intent. People are searching, but they're also consuming content. They aren't looking for a direct thing. They're looking to find answers, but also consume it in a visual format. And this allows you as the fund manager or the GP to put videos in front of your prospects so that they can see who you are. They can learn more about the fund. There's a visual component to it. And when you really nail down YouTube, it is one of the best advertising platforms out there. The problem with YouTube is there's a bullwhip effect. And so what happens is it takes a lot longer for you to get results because it swings so far both ways. One, you'll get really good results, the next you may not. And so it takes a lot longer for YouTube to stabilize, which means you have to sink a lot more money into the platform just to see a good return. We love YouTube, but it's typically a secondary channel for that very reason. Which brings us to Facebook. Why do we like Facebook so much? I want you to think about your state of mind. Go back to the LinkedIn concept. Think about your state of mind when you're on Facebook and when you're on Instagram. You're there to consume content, you're there to check up on friends and family, and you're in a very relaxed state 9 times out of 10. Right? There's a reason you don't want your employees scrolling Facebook or Instagram at work because it's not conducive. LinkedIn, it's not so bad. Like you catch somebody on LinkedIn, that's not so bad. They're doing something to better their profile. They're looking for people. They're prospecting. Makes sense. But Instagram and Facebook, they're in a much more relaxed state, which means they're much more receptive to an advertisement, especially when it serves them what they want. And the biggest competitor that we hear questions about all the time is LinkedIn. Why not LinkedIn? Why Facebook? Because if you think that Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk are not on Instagram or Facebook, or you think that some of these Fortune 100 CEOs are not on Facebook, you are lying to yourself, because they have kids, they have family, they have friends they want to check in on. People are on these platforms and they're in a relaxed state and they're going to be much more susceptible to an advertisement. The other thing that we love about Facebook is the second that they click an ad about invest with us, they will then get fed ad 1, ad 2, ad 3. And the way the algorithm works is it's as soon as you engage with this, all of a sudden your whole feed is going to flood with these. And so as an advertiser that has experience at scale, I know for a fact that I can outcompete at least 70% of the market. And so you even give me an opportunity, you give the agency an opportunity, we'll be the top dog in terms of the messaging and raising that capital and bringing in the right type of LPs, because you'll see our ad at ad 3 and you'll go, oh, that was much better than ad 1. But what it allows you to do is, because they have such a good grip on who you are, as soon as you engage, it's going to feed you exactly what you just engaged with. And that's why we love Facebook so much. Now, the key to this, and the reason that I am extremely confident in myself and the team when it comes to bringing in the right type of LPs, is we understand the one thing that Facebook does best, and it's leverage your messaging. The words that you say in your ad dictate exactly who you get. If I say, if you're an accredited investor, cool, I'm going to get some accredited investors. That's great. If I say, if you're an accredited investor with 500K liquid capital that you're looking to deploy in your next real estate asset, you're bullish on developments, you want to work with somebody that doesn't just have 5 years experience but has 40, you want a team that treats you with white glove service, pay attention. That alone will bring me a much better type of person than just saying, if you're an accredited investor. And here's why I love Facebook, because messaging is important in all forms of marketing. But if you pair that with not just the core of who you want, but the environment of who you're looking for, everything changes. We recently were helping a fund, or we're actively helping a fund raise money for some commercial real estate assets in the hotel market, like the hospitality space. All this dude does, selfie, walk through the hotels, show himself on the property, dress nice, dress like a guy that you can trust with your capital. And that too will bring in the right type of person. Here's the other thing that's interesting. Let's say you look at the data and your fund happens to raise 60% of their capital from women over the age of 60. Guess who's going in that Facebook ad? Some lady over the age of 60, because there's also the mirror effect. If I look like the person across the room from me, I'm going to trust them much more. It's why if you look at marriages, you look at the two people, 9 times out of 10, they look very similar because they trust and like who they look like. And so that's another way you can manipulate things with Facebook, is the person. Person, environment, message. You control all three, you get a much better output from Facebook. That's the key thing here, is we like to follow the common 3 questions you'll see in all of my videos. What, when, who? Who is this person? When are they looking to invest? What do they want? What are their objections? What do they believe? When did they start believing these things? Who influenced them to believe these things? And I can just ask, I can use these 3 question starters. I can spin it so many ways to a point where I paint a perfect picture. The other thing, and this is on a call with an info client of ours, and same principle applies, and I use this scenario all the time, is let's say I paint a picture and I put a person in it. That's the accredited investor. The accredited investor, cool. That kind of looks like me. Maybe he's a white dude. I don't know. Let's say I put some green grass there. I go, pretend I'm outside. Oh, I'm standing in some green grass. Yeah, that looks very similar to me. Let's say I'm in Florida and I put on those, like, I don't know what those roofs are, but those like weird shackled roof things. And I put that roof on the home behind me. Oh, that guy looks like he's in my area. I don't even have to say Florida. Let's say I put a nice big sun. Oh, it's sunny out right now. Let's say he's got a wife and kids. Oh my God, I have a beautiful wife. I have a son. I have a daughter. Maybe there's an airplane. Oh, look at that airplane. And what I've done, and this is what your messaging does, is I've not just said, are you an accredited investor? But I've begun to paint the picture around what that accredited investor actually looks for. Because everybody invests for different reasons. Are you looking for cash flow? Are you looking for an equity play? Are you looking for an investment vehicle you can go visit? Are you looking for something you can have input on? Or are you looking to just like put it and leave it? Think about it similar to stocks. You got to have, some people are very conservative. Some people take big risks. Your VC funds versus PE firms. Very, very simple, similar business model, very different risk profiles. It's understanding this concept of messaging that allows you to bring in the right type of LPs. If you want to understand a little bit more about what that actually looks like, there's going to be a link below. You can book a call, speak to myself, or a member of my team. We'll run you through a scenario of what we do. Typically at the end of every call, we'll send you 30 ads that you can go review, record, film, test if you really want to. And if it works, we'll help you scale. The hardest part with running paid ads after you have the messaging is actually scaling the campaigns. Again, we'll give you the ads. We'll walk you through what to do. Just book that call and you'll speak to myself or a member of the team. Now, the last part to this is a lot of the common misconceptions. People think that Facebook is a platform that people go to relax on. And that's exactly what I just explained to you. It is a platform that people go to chill, whatever you want to call it. The common misconception though, and it goes back to something I mentioned a little bit earlier, is that fund managers, GPs, people on the IR team, really anybody I speak to about paid advertising that's never spent money at scale believes that because I wouldn't do it, there's no way somebody else does. I think I've clicked 2 ads over the past 6 months. 2 out of my own interest. The rest are just me doing market research. Yet we run profitable campaigns damn near across the board within a 90-day period for most of our higher velocity clients. For capital raising, again, between 4 to 8 months. But I barely click ads for my own self-interest. Just because that is how I behave does not mean somebody on the other end of the screen does. You cannot let your current existence hinder you from taking action on a marketing channel that works and works well. We manage over $250,000 a month in ad spend, and I've clicked 2 ads in 6 months. Do not let your current set of beliefs around paid advertising hinder you from taking an action. The second one is a lot of people get over concerned with the cost. Is this going to cost too much? Is it going to cost? It seems expensive. I don't want to spend 2 to 5% cost of capital. We put a video out on the channel. I want you to go watch it. It's going to be somewhere in the corner that covers a breakdown of your cost of capital when running paid ads. We compare it to some of the most common channels that you see and that you're probably using right now, so you can understand how much it costs relative to what you're currently doing. I encourage you to go watch that. I'll shortcut a little bit, just around the same. And so those are like the 2 big ones. Don't let your current set of beliefs hinder you from taking action action on a marketing channel that works. And also don't let your mindset around cost hinder your ability to speed up your capital raising process. That's why we use Facebook for capital raising. If you guys have any questions about that, drop them in the comments below. We'll answer all of them best we can. If you want to learn more, you can book call myself, remember the team. Just be a couple questions you got to respond to. And then, like I said, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.